Sweet. Okay, so kind of a tough question to start off. So going back to
Yeah.
May 6th, 2023, it was your final game, or it turned out to be your final game. You played Sacred Heart in the NEC Championship. I believe you had 17 saves, something crazy like that. It was something crazy. And so it turned out to be a heartbreaking 7-6 loss. So I'm curious, when for you did it hit you that you had played your final game? Was it right after the final whistle? Was it the next day? When did it hit you that it was all over?
Well, yeah, definitely starting off with a tough one, but um I don't know, in the moment, like just from being like such a competitor, like the initial like heartbreak of losing like the championship game was kind of like what I was like feeling. And then like the like a week or two after, like you're still like so upset and like, but I think of it as if I didn't have such like an amazing experience there and just love it so much, then I wouldn't be this upset. So like you kind of look at it as you're grateful for what you got to do there, and just be able to play there for 5 years was just incredible. So I feel like I wouldn't be that upset if I didn't just love it and just have like the best experience. So if you look at it that way, it kind of helps. But I don't know, I still think about that game too. So I don't think that'll leave me for a while. But um, yeah, it's always like still there. But um, I don't know, if I didn't love it so much, then I wouldn't be that upset. So
For sure. Did it help?
yeah.
Did it help you process it all just because you did go out with a very good game? I mean, I'm sure from your point of view, you're always like, oh, I could have done this better. Like that's just kind of the mindset of an athlete. But like you had a great game. So did that help at all or no?
Yeah, like if I like I knew that I just like gave it like all I had that game, and of course like you just said like you can always do more. I remember like one shot like vividly, like I see the whole thing happening still. Um but like yeah, I mean it does help that you always could have done more, but if I had like a bad game that game, that then I would have been like much more like
Yeah,
upset about it. But no, I feel like I really did give it um everything I had, and it was just like in the zone there. So um yeah, that helps.
for sure. So when did you start playing lacrosse? How old were you?
I was in 4th grade. I'm from West Islip, Long Island, so it's a big lacrosse town. Um, the boys team was very good, like the early 2000s, and then like everyone just played lacrosse. So all my friends played, and we had a super close like town team who we played like from literally 4th grade to whenever PAL ends. So um, yeah, I started, and then I really didn't start playing goalie till maybe like 6th grade, 5th,
Okay.
6th grade. So I definitely had a year of field in there, but I switched to goalie real quick.
Hey, goalie world is the best world. So,
Yeah.
so you played starting in fourth grade and you played through high school and then 5 years of college. I don't know how many years off the top of my head, but that's a long time to play a sport, and especially because you had the COVID year, so you had that extra year in college. And so I I'm just curious, each off season you always had the next season to look forward to. And so I'm curious, what was it like going back to last what would have been your normal off season, but you didn't have the next season to look forward to or the off season to like do more drills and stay in shape or do whatever. So what was that like for you not having an off season anymore?
Yeah, it was definitely weird. Like, like every summer you get the email with the run packet and lift packet. Um, but also just like finding things that, because I like still stay active to this day, and just finding things that you like to do where necessarily you don't have to train for like a certain thing. Um, but also like the summer is so busy, there's so many things going on where um kind of like distracts you from it, I guess. Um, but yeah, it was definitely like weird, like just finding other things that feel kind of that thing in your life that's gone now, like to kind of look forward to. Um, And I also started working like right away, so that was also kind of distracted me from it. But it was definitely weird. But just finding things that you enjoy doing to maybe fill those hours that you'd be doing lacrosse things.
For sure. So I'm curious, since you did start working right away, have you picked up a stick since that game, or what has that process been like?
I didn't play until our alumni game
Oh
in,
wow, okay.
was it like late late September, I think. Um, but I did start coaching for Long Island Sharpshooters, and um, so that's fun too, just still like staying in the game and just being around it. But yeah, I didn't play. Like I didn't really want to like join like a women's league or something. I just, like after a long season, you kind of need to give yourself a break there too. But I don't know, maybe I will play again, but only time will tell.
Was that was that weird for you not wanting to go to the field and get like shots taken on you or anything like that?
Yeah, it was. But like I was big on like you play hard during your season and giving yourself a like some time for a break just to like kind of reset and then really like focusing in like closer when it gets to fall and whatever to start playing again. But it definitely was like I still have friends from West Islip who I would play with, or my roommate from college lives in Deer Park, so she would come shoot with me. She lives like 10 minutes away, so um, it definitely was weird, but um, yeah, it was like kind of just a break that just never ends now, I guess.
For
But
sure.
yeah.
Uh, so, when it comes to challenges that you faced transitioning from, I mean, I guess like once you're an athlete, you're always an athlete, especially when you play at the college level. But now you're going from that's like one of your jobs along with school to just being in the workforce and not having lacrosse as a job, especially at the D1 level where you have to put so much time into it. So I'm curious, did you face any challenges making the transition from student athlete to worker in New York City?
Yeah, it's definitely like just finding a routine that you like, because right, 'cause going from student athlete, you have your set times for practice, class, your downtime, and it's just like every day of like a packed day. Where now you're home and like you get home from work and then you're just like having kind of nothing to do, so you um find time to do the things that you enjoy doing. But um I feel like your days um more days are challenging than others, just like missing it. And um right, the summer, like right after like the summer, summer's busy, you have things to do, you go visit this person, you go visit this person. And then once like the girls went back to school, right, like everyone's posting like fall ball's back, and that's like, oh, like you miss it. But um definitely just restructuring your days of like still having that go 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 like daily life that you were used to, and just figuring out how to now fill your days with things that you also enjoy aside from being a student athlete.
So what have you picked up any new hobbies? Are you watching more TV now? What are your days like with all your free time?
um Definitely watching more TV. um I'm just like trying to just stay in touch with my friends and like kind of people I haven't seen from home in a while who I see like all the time now. Just being out doing things. I'm still trying to find my hobbies, but um and still just finding like workouts that you enjoy doing where you're not like kind of forced to do all these like grueling heavy lifting workouts, but still like staying shape and like feeling good. So
Mm.
um I would say it's every day there's just something new, just being like something comes up, all right, I'll go do it, rather than just like sitting home like waiting for like other things to happen. But um
Maybe you should look into getting a pet. That'll keep you busy.
yeah, that's true, maybe.
Awesome. So one specific thing that I've heard athletes from different sports and whether they've been professional athletes or not is they talk about having kind of an identity crisis, if you will, when their playing days end because that's who they were for so long and it was part of their life every day for year after year after year. So I'm curious, did you experience a little bit of that identity crisis with not knowing how to fill your days at the start, or were you fine in that regard?
No, yeah, definitely had some bit of an identity crisis, and everyone I feel like all athletes, like, go through it. It is because you do something for 10, 12 years, and now it's just, like, gone. Um, but even just me still being around the game and coaching and still, like, loving it and being, like, around it, helps, and, a big thing too, like, people, they don't love you for, like, being a lacrosse player, they like you and love you for being a good teammate, being a good friend, and just so I still have so many friends still from school that I talk to every day, and you're more than just, like, how good of a lacrosse player you were and what you did on the field. And, right, you're only there for 4 years, 5 years, and you're friends with these girls for, like, the rest of your life, so, um, like, yes, lacrosse, like, brought us all together, but that's not the only reason why that you're all, like, best friends still. So I feel like understanding that and realizing that kinda helps too, like, you're that I'll be friends with these girls, like, forever, so, um and, like, again, like, the biggest part is, like, leaving, like, the camaraderie, like, the group, just the team setting, um, so I'm still being able to be friends with them and still, like, look for them for, like, advice and stuff, so it's still, like, once you understand that, it, like, gets better too.
Awesome. I'm curious, what do you miss the most? Is it the bus rides? Is it the locker room celebrations? Is it something else?
Yeah, I feel like just being around them, like, every day and, like, the bus trips are so much fun. Just, like, now it's, like, the build up to season, so, like, you memorize each game, like, you're playing Wednesday, Saturday this week, you're playing this team then, like, I, like, would literally memorize, like, every game of the season, like, before it starts, and, like, watching all the other games, and this person beat this one, this person beat like, just the fun of, like, just being around your friends and just the excitement of season, but, um, yeah, there's, like, little things you miss more than just, like, physically playing lacrosse, but, um, I would say that's, like, the biggest thing.
And then one more follow-up on that, as far as the competition aspect goes, I think, you hear a lot, especially from people that have played sports, there's no competition in life like sports, and so I'm curious, do you miss the competition or are you, like, enjoying a little bit of a break from the stress, or, like, what is your mindset on that like?
No, I'm a very competitive person, like, I literally hate losing, like, checkers, so I'm, like, need to, like, find something, again, to fill that part, but it does get stressful, like, I right, me and my friends, we pick a wall, of course, like, over the summer and stuff with my family too, and, like, it'd be close, and I would literally find myself, like, my heart's racing, like, I'm, like, back in, like, games, which sounds, like, so stupid, but, like, there's little moments of other things that are competitive that, like, kinda fill that for you, um, but I, like, it's true, like, you, like, rush off, like, the adrenaline rush of, like, being in games and, like, you'll never really, like, feel that again, but there's little things that kinda, like, fill that for you,
For sure.
I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Um, so you are now an area sales manager at the Lemon Perfect company, correct?
Yes.
And so I did research on your LinkedIn to find this information, but the company is based in New York City, correct?
No, so it's based in Atlanta, but I
Oh, wow, okay.
so we don't, like, have well, for me personally, I don't have an office, so I right, it's sales, so I drive around basically all day and, like, go to different stores and stuff. Um, yeah, so it's not, like, technically, like, one office.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
yeah.
Maddie and I are actually from Atlanta, so I'll have to Google
Oh,
that next
okay.
time I'm there. So, have you
Yeah.
been to Atlanta on like a work trip or?
No, we haven't hit Atlanta yet, but hopefully I always wanted to go there, so that would be fun.
Hey, once your sales go through the roof, they'll fly you anywhere you want. So,
Yeah, it's true.
so what can you describe your role and kind of what your daily projects are?
Yes, so I drive to like different stores, um, grocery stores, delis, just um meeting people. That's what I liked about the role too, is that I'm not just sitting down all day, and it kind of relates to how like my student athlete life was. Like you're always on the go, always like talking to people, you're always out doing whatever. So that's what kind of like attracted me to the role too, is that I'm not just like sitting alone all day, just like not talking to anyone. So getting out there and just meeting new people, getting new experiences, getting out of like your comfort zone, I guess, um, kind of like gets relates me back to being a student athlete. Um, but our the CEO who created Lemon Perfect, he was a basketball coach, a college basketball coach for years. So all of like our meetings and stuff, he has a very coach like way about him. He always talks about grit and just fighting through the battles of each day, and like really just like loves how he wants to build like a team like within our company. So it's cool to see how I'm still kind of part of like a team in a sense in like work life too, which I
Very
like.
cool. What do you sell? What is their product?
So it's a lemon water. There's 7 flavors. There's no sugar in it. So really push that it's the healthiest water just drink like on the market, that it's hydrating. And we're really trying to push it towards athletes too. So for like recovery and just hydrating for games. So
You
it's
should go to Wagner and try and get a big deal going.
yeah. Oh yeah, I already gave some of my teammates some cases, so they really like it too.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. So how has lacrosse or how did your playing days and your time as a lacrosse player help you transition into the workforce?
Just just like meeting people, um, right on a team, this person comes up to you with questions, this person, so you're really learning how to deal and talk to people and be able to communicate with people. So I feel like that really helps too in the workforce. And just like kind of buying it, like when you play like on a team, you buy into the team, you want to do everything that you can for your team. So I feel like too in the workforce, when you have a team of great people who I work with every day and talk to every day, who like, I don't have to see every day, but I text them all day. And just being able to kind of rely on people too and work like you would rely on people on your team as well.
Awesome. And then as far as since you are in sales, that seems to be a job where you would face a lot of adversity. Just how in that sense, how has lacrosse helped you?
Yes, so it's funny because when I was interviewing, um, the CEO was like, "You were a goalie, like you would get scored on, and you just need that mental toughness to keep going." And it's kind of like sales, right? You never get 100% sales like on your day, but it's always just like the next one is like will be there, and like lacrosse, like especially like goalies and just being mentally tough, and right, not every goal is your fault, but um just being able to keep going and keep a level head for the next player, the next sale. So I guess it definitely relates in that way.
Well, if you always plan to go into sales, then playing goalie was probably the perfect position to play.
I guess so, yeah.
Um, so the 2024 season is starting, I guess this week technically, since it's Sunday now. So I'm curious, what are your feelings about the season starting, but that you aren't playing? I know you kind of touched on this, but if you could just expand, the season starting, you're not playing for the first time since you were in fourth grade. What are your thoughts?
I know I get this question like literally every day, just from like seeing people like around town, and just people who like I know. Um, it's definitely weird, but I'd say like I did put so much time and like effort in that I'm like at peace and like happy with like how my career like ended up. Um, that I can just know that after leaving that I just really just did my best and gave it all my emotions and energy. And but now like I'm so excited to be a fan, like to support my old teammates, and just even with all like the transfer portal people going to this team, that team. So women's cross is like so fun to watch and just something that I'll watch like for the rest of my life. So definitely excited to be a fan and head back to Wagner for to watch some games. But um it is weird, like there's like you did it your whole life and now it's done. But I think too, like there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm just excited to be a fan now.
Do you think you'll be more nervous as a fan watching Wagner than as a player, or will it be the opposite?
I think I think it would be the opposite. I feel like I can just relax. Of course, I want them to win, and will always be a Wagner fan. But especially from being a goalie, like you always have those jitters. But of course, I want my friends to do well, and um, but I do like feel nervous for them. I would say, but
Well, hey, there are some pros and cons to being retired. One of them being you don't have to deal with the long road trip, or even playing up in the Northeast in the cold snow,
yeah,
cold weather. So you can just turn off the TV after the game and go get some food or like
exactly.
watch TV, and they're gonna be stinking up the bus because they haven't showered yet. So
Yeah, especially the first week of practice, the whole Northeast was under in snow. So I was like, I'm happy I'm not practicing
yeah,
today. And
for
but
sure. Let's see. So I kind of touched on this as well, but can you describe just in general how thankful you are for lacrosse and what it's done for you and your life now that you can kind of smell the roses and look back on all that you accomplished and all that lacrosse did for you?
yeah, like I of course would not be the person I am without it. And just like um I know it's like hard because you can literally I can't say enough words about it that I really have no words. But just like still being able to call my friends that I played with all those years. And it's just lacrosse is just something that brings people like back together that you all had fun doing. And I always say like um no one like really understands like how what it's like or like how it was like being on a team and just being around people that have the same like drive and goal and like things you want to accomplish together. So just like being able to still be in touch with my friends who um just like we went through that together, and it's just been awesome. Like looking back, I know like I'll just always be proud and just happy that I got to do it. And it wouldn't be like so sad or like hard to talk about if I didn't just absolutely love it. So there's some pros to that if
For
you look at
sure.
it from that perspective as well.
That's a good mindset. I
Yeah.
Please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it seems like you've mentioned a number of times throughout that it's the teammates and that you're going to miss the most and you brought them up a lot. So is that if you had to pick one thing that you're most thankful for lacrosse, is it the people that it brought you close to?
Yeah, definitely. My even like my high school team, like we played from 4th grade to high school together. So and my coaches were awesome. They still coach there now. I still talk to them. Um, I like Wagner. I feel like it's different because it's such a small school that like we really do see them every day, and we did everything together. Like on the field, off the fields. Um, so we were like kind of like very close in that sense where um it is like you just meet so many great people that just like really just you just can't imagine like your life without that you meet like along the way. So it's I say that's like the number one thing I think I'll miss.
Awesome. So just a few more questions. As Actually, you probably already answered this one. As you look back on all you accomplished as a lacrosse player, what are you most proud of, and what will stick with you for the rest of your life? If we can put aside the relationships, because obviously that seems to be for at the forefront. But like as far as your accomplishments, what are you most proud of?
Um, I would say just like my progression like as a player from like my freshman year I didn't play. Um, and then just ending my 5th year like being an honorable mention All-American is just crazy. Like I never thought that that would like even happen. I'm not really one to like talk about all my awards and um everything that I was able to accomplish. So I'll say that was really cool just because um I just like was not expecting it and just really like didn't kind of need that to like validate like my career. So it was like really cool to see that other people like noticed it and like was able to give me that because you think like there's no better way to end a career like off that, I'd say.
For sure.
Um yeah.
National recognition is amazing. So,
Yeah.
awesome. So, is there anything else that you would like to add? Did we miss anything? Would you like to highlight anything in more depth, or the floor is completely yours?
Um I would just say like even from talking to my friends who also were student athletes who um now like aren't playing is that right, I said this earlier, but your friends and your family and your teammates don't like you because of the lacrosse player you were. Like they like you because you're a good person, you're their friend, you're someone who you're fun to be around, and right that since lacrosse gone now, that's the only thing like really just pushing you through like now going into the adult world. So I'll say that if people um like everyone struggles with their days, but and just finding other things in their life that make you happy. So I'd say that.
That's awesome. Maddie, do you have any questions for Lauren?
I don't. It was very interesting listening to you, though.
Thank you.
So yes, awesome. Thank you